I sat down with some incredibly talented mostly talented content creators to discuss Wuthering Waves, what it did good and what it did bad. If they could summarize the single best feature and the single worst feature that Kudo have implemented, if there was a singular aspect of the game that would sell them on playing it or deter them entirely. I'm gonna break this video down into two parts. This video is about the best. Now, we all love Wuthering Waves, but no game is infallible. Every game has its good and its bad. Every game. Now take it away.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is AmethystAbrams. I'm primarily a gacha gamer. I primarily play Wuthering Waves, but I'm going to be expanding on the roster of gacha games in the new year with Ananta, Black Beacon, and others. I primarily do YouTube, but I do stream a few days of the week. And yeah, it's good to be here with you guys. It's great to be here with you guys.
All right, hey, I'm EO. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty infamous at this point, but I don't think that's for the right reasons, though. But yeah, I do gacha games. We also do a little bit of Monster Hunter. We do a little bit of Bloodborne and fighting games for the most part outside of this. But yeah, I'm streaming on Twitch Tuesday through Thursday. We cover a lot of Zenless Zone Zero, really digging that right now. A little bit of Star Rail, and then most recently we started dipping into Wuthering Waves again, prepping for 2.0. Really want Carlotta.
My name is Ryuuku Sensei. Did you know I live in Japan? And I'm that guy, basically. I have far too much time on my hands. I've been in the gacha sphere of things basically since the start of them becoming popular in Japan, playing like Puzzles and Dragons, Monster Strike. But now I mainly play Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Path to Nowhere, Nikkei, Arc Knights, Wuthering Waves, and Fate Grand Order, of course. I play far too many. Yeah, I need to see a doctor about that. But yeah, so I'm relatively new. I started this year as well. I've done a few videos that have popped off pretty decently about my critiques of certain games and how they portray themselves. And yeah, well, feel free to check that out.
So what I'm hearing is that you play almost as many gacha games as I do. Almost.
Yes.
Almost. Dude, there are gacha games that I play that I haven't listed. There's other ones like on Orient Arcadia and a bunch of others. No, I do. Help, save me, bro. Save me, please.
Yeah. a pure gacha addict here.
Hey guys, I'm Solace. I've been making videos for about 6 months now. I'm pretty new to YouTube, but mostly covering Wuthering Waves. I have been playing gacha games for a lot longer than the 6 months I've been doing YouTube. I think my first gacha game that I played seriously was Fate Grand Order, probably back in like 2016, 2017.
Nice.
And I've been playing gacha games since then. Some other ones that I played have, actually seriously played would be Arc Knights, Genshin Impact. I've got into Honkai Star Rail, but right now got a 8-month-old daughter, full-time job, all that kind of stuff. So I'm basically just doing Wuthering Waves right now. So yeah, thanks for having me here, Stix.
I mean, I don't want to. Yeah, we're not going to say infamous. Some of the better content creators I know, some of the more let's say talented content creators I know. So in the Wuwa scene anyway, because I'm gonna be honest, there really aren't enough of us there. Mm-hmm. We do have a relatively tight-knit community, so I appreciate everyone here, since we all cover Wuwa, taking the time of the day to give your thoughts, your opinions on what Wuwa can improve on. Because, like, let's be honest, a lot of the community seem to view gacha games as black and white, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong, but you either love a game or you hate a game, right? You can't like love a game and critique it or hate a game and praise it. You're either all for it or all against it, right? People either love Genshin or hate Genshin. They love Wuwa or they hate Wuwa. There's really no like steady, safe medium between them. So
there's no gray zones.
Yeah, exactly. It's very one-sided. The communities are very fractured and very one-sided. So what I'd like to do is have everyone here sit down and first mention what they believe to be the key defining feature of Wuwa, the thing that they liked the most, starting with Amethyst.
I think the number one thing that I like the most is the combat. I think the combat is the thing that defines or makes Wuthering Waves different to a lot of the other gacha games that we played. I've played a lot of gacha games that aren't included in the big ones that that we know of in the past few years. But I'd say the combat in Wuthering Waves is some of the most unique and in-depth combat for a gacha game that we've seen in recent years, and I think it's actually really innovative. Can it be improved? Of course, but most features in this in these games can be, and I'm sure we'll see improvements as time goes on, as Kuro are infamous at this point in taking our feedback to heart and implementing it into the patches of their games. But yeah, I think the combat is definitely the most important and the best thing for me personally, followed by the story.
All right, Io, what about you? What do you think?
I would have said combat, but you know, I've matured beyond this point. In all seriousness, fun fact: I'm really critical about Wuthering Waves open world experience and like what they have as far as that, because my favorite part of Wuthering is the open world, not the experience, but I mean like the world itself. Like I don't know if you guys have ever cranked up the graphics to, you know, maximum, for like 4K or 5K, whatever your monitor is, and then color correct it. It looks so good.
It's crisp.
Like,
it's crisp.
I mean, this is before ray tracing. I'm like, oh my goodness, man, this is gonna be really nice. So I feel like they have so much potential to just fully expand on the world itself, the interactions, the monsters, how the character or the player interacts with the world itself. Swimming could be a big thing, a part of it, because there's a lot of water and like, you know, hidden areas and whatnot. And then that's another thing, hidden areas or dungeons, like they have a lot of potential to just take this to the next level, and I really want to see them do it. But yeah, that's my favorite part.
Ryuuku.
Well, I don't want to be a broken record. Like, again, the combat is incredibly. It feels great to play and use these characters to defeat these absolute monstrosities in this world. And also, again, as Io says, the world is pretty impressive. Again, graphically, it looks absolutely astounding. So I'm gonna say another thing. I mean, those two things I do really like. I'm gonna say another thing. I really appreciate the way they tell their story. The storytelling they have in Wuthering Waves is really enjoyable, even though the story itself might not be the most, might not be the deepest or the most thought-provoking at times. The way they tell the story is a lot more intriguing, a lot more interesting to keep me interested as a player, as someone that does. Even though people might think that I don't like story, I love story. That's why I'm much more critical about it. When I hear the players talk to each other, I don't just hear lines being read by voice actors. I actually hear characters talking to each other. I mean, sometimes they'll have like sound bugs where like a line will be cut off and they'll start the next line too early. But those are bugs. But overall, when the characters are talking to each other, I feel like they are actually talking to each other, and I really greatly appreciate that.
All right, nice. And just a small little addendum to that. What I like the most about the story is the fact actually that you can finish it in like 2 hours, right? They tell each each patch in such an easily digestible format that you can just sit there and finish it in one sitting. You don't have to spend, 10, 20 hours listening to unskippable, cutscenes, scenarios. It's really great.
It doesn't feel overly drawn out. It has its length, but it doesn't feel overly drawn out like at all. I really greatly appreciate that. I've looked at the length of certain quests, even like the main story quest, in comparison to other games. Like the other games would have like say 6-7 hours to get through just the story with barely any interactions in there at all. Whereas with Wuthering Waves, it could take about like 3 hours, 3.5 hours max. And it's like I appreciate that they condense things. They don't waste my time, and that's another thing I do appreciate about Wuthering Waves. Like it feels like they respect the player's time a lot more compared to the other gacha games. Not throwing in names. I mean like all of them in general. I really feel like they respect players' times, and I greatly appreciate that.
Ryuuku, I have a question. I saw your recent video where you were critiquing Wuthering Waves. I think probably all of us have seen that. You mentioned that you have 2 accounts.
Yes.
And I was curious, so is one of those in English and is one of those in Japanese? Like, do you do different voices? I'm curious to know if there's differences between the two, and maybe that's a little off topic, but just curious.
For the beginning part, I played both in Japanese because, but I have tried to play through some. I'll play one story quest in Japanese and one story quest in English. Say for example, the Showkeeper story quest, I played one in Japanese, one in English. I did the same thing for Encore as well, because I heard Encore story quest, the voice acting was good. I disagree. I'm sorry, that was really bad.
For what, Japanese or English?
No, the English version for Encore. Like Encore's voice actress, she just sounds like an old grandma. She does not sound like a child at all. Whereas in comparison, in Japanese, she does actually sound like a child, which is fine. It makes a lot more sense.
No, I understand.
I'm
She
sorry,
actually voiced Regulus in Reverse 1999. As she typically tends to voice like more grown-up characters, so it was kind of jarring hearing her play a little kid.
I'm sorry. I don't think she has the range.
So play the game in Japanese, guy.
Play it in Japanese for the most part. Although that's the thing though. In English, I really appreciate they have the freedom to tell the story with certain accents as well, like having different accents, having British accents, American accents, and now
Very
Scottish
diverse
accents as well.
in their accents, yeah.
Whereas in Japanese, you don't really have that. You have certain dialects, but dialects are not the same as accents. But so yeah, there is the benefit of English having that accent and giving the characters a bit more personality and having the characters sound a certain way. But overall, like generally speaking, the actual quality of voice acting, no shade at the English ones, except for one in particular, but I'm not going to get into that one. But the quality of voice acting is better in Japan, in my opinion, because they actually have voice acting colleges where people actually go there and they spend years just doing nothing but studying and practicing how to voice act. So I think that's why there's such great difference between voice acting.
Yeah, so I'm gonna beat the dead horse. Combat. So here's the thing. I play Dark Souls games.
Yes.
So I have.
That's what I'm talking
I have
about.
the platinum. I have the platinum trophy on PS5 for Elden Ring. I have the platinum trophy on PS5 for Lies of P. I don't know if you guys know Lies of P.
Yeah,
That's
I do.
Good
Yeah.
game.
I actually think Lies of P was more difficult than some of the Souls games I've played before. I'm a huge fan of that kind of combat and that style of game, and in no way, shape, or form is Wuthering Waves on that level. It's not in any in no world is it that difficult. But I enjoy the aspects of the combat. Like it's like a casual. Like if I had to make a crappy analogy, I'd say it's like a super casual Elden Ring kind of thing, where there's some challenge to it. It's not just super easy, and I can enjoy myself, and there's some intricacies to it. So yeah, combat is definitely at the top for me.
I saw a comparison where the combat isn't based on Elden Ring. I'm not saying that's what you were saying. Like say for example, Scar's attack animation, some has from Elden Ring, like from Margit, but the actual combat in Wuthering Waves is mainly from Nier Automata. I saw a comparison between the attack animations, like the dodging and the moving, the attack animations. It's mainly from Nier Automata, so that would be the best comparison if you want.
Okay, cool.
More console version.
And,
Alright.
And Stellar Blade as well, I would say.
Yeah.
Kind of in the same vein.
Yeah.
Stellar's based off of Nier, so yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can see the comparison. Yep.
Nier is just so good. It's a good franchise.
It really
I've
is,
not played them. I've not played them.
You've
Any
not,
of them?
Yo, you gotta go play Nier.
I know.
Listen,
Did you ever
at
play
least
Dragon
Let's
Guard?
play.
You need to play Replicant. Go play Replicant and then go play Nier Automata. Because
Wait. Who here has
Replicant's
played
really
the Drakengard trilogy?
the one from the PS2.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not talking about that anymore. Oh
Alright.
my goodness, bro.
All right.
It's
I'll
great. No,
secure
it's
it.
great. It's great. I don't have mine anymore. That's why I don't talk about it. Because like I lost
My
it.
backlog. It's in
Yeah.
my backlog.
Didn't they have a skin from Drakengard in Nier as well, like in the blue
Mhm.
dress? That's right, yeah? I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
I think another thing about the combat, really quick, is I think Wuthering Waves has a similar combat style to DMC, like Devil May Cry a little bit. I've noticed a little bit of Devil May Cry within. I've played Devil May. I played the original way back on the old PlayStation 2 console, and I played Devil May Cry 4 and 5, and the combat does seem very similar in Wuthering Waves to Devil May Cry, in my opinion.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Only thing
yeah.
that I say I would probably like, I think that's missing from it would be the aerial combat. Like some characters have, you know, good aerials, and then other characters don't really stay in the air as long.
Hey, you! Where do you think you're going? Don't you close out of this tab. I didn't give you permission to do that. Sit your ass back down. Click one of the 2 videos that are going to be on screen in just a moment, and keep watching my content. Keep enjoying my content.